The cooperative principle, press forward. All right. So, how do we know what people say when they say things? How do we know that when I say stuff like, how do I know that these three ands are different, you know? Because in the sentence, they fulfill the same role. They connect two sentences together. And is a conjunction, it's a conjunction in all of those sentences. But in I love to sing and dance, I went to the store and got groceries, and what does it say? I broke my parents' vase and was grounded. You get three nuances in and. The first sentence you could rewrite to say, I love to sing, I love to dance, in either order. It just connects the information. I went to the store and got groceries. The and also provides you with an order. I first went to the store, then I went to the groceries. You could mean it the other way around, and you wouldn't be lying, but you'd probably be a bit obtuse in presenting your information.
Yeah, obtuse.
And then I broke my parents' vase and was grounded, provides you with an explanation for the cause and the effect. First, I broke the vase, and as a result, because of the broken vase, I was grounded. It's not because I did something else. It's due to the vase being broken. But how do we know that that's what we mean when we say that? Why can't I just assume I broke my parents' vase, and randomly, for some other reason, I was grounded? And it's because of the...
Maxim!
It's because of Maxim! It's because of the cooperative principle, which posits that we are... essentially, while speaking and while listening, working with each other to further the conversation and not to have it kind of stop or say random things. We do that by following 4 basic rules or maxims. The maxim of quantity tells us to say what we need to, but not more than what we need to. The maxim of relation tells us to be relevant, to not say random stuff.
Oh man, I hate this. I love being random.
The maxim of quality tells us to not say what we don't believe to be true, or to not say what we don't have evidence to say. And the maxim of manner basically tells us to be clear and to be direct with what we're trying to say.
Wow.
See, Mace, if you actually properly learn this, you can be more chaotic.
I can't believe Maxim, there's like 4 of him.
No, right?
That is enough.
I can read the last one if you want.
No, that's okay. I read them all. Following the 4 basic rules is kind of the way that we present straightforward information. It's how we talk to each other, and when we talk following those 4 rules, we don't really have to read into anything that we're saying. However, we can also break these rules. We can interact with them in different ways. So how are the different ways that we can interact with Maxim?
Sorry, it's just funny. I don't know if you knew a guy named Maxim would be here tonight, so.
Well, yeah, I did, but you know, they're just called that.
The linguists don't change the name, or there's a maxim.
Violating the Maxim.
So
Obeying the Maxim. Jesse's trying to do
Sorry,
an
Jesse,
education.
sorry.
That's okay. You can obey the maxim. You can do exactly what it says and just be cooperative.
He, him, actually. Not
We're so sweet.
You can violate it by breaking its rules in such a way that you don't necessarily notice. It's meant so that what I say seems like it follows the rules, but in fact it doesn't. Yes?
Sorry, do you mind giving like an example of that?
I will get to there.
Oh, for sure, sorry.
Flouting the maxims are violations of the rule that everyone can tell. That
What's it
you're
called?
Flouting.
Flouting.
You're flouting the maxim when everyone can tell that you are doing it. When I'm being so random to the point of it's clear that I'm making a joke or that I'm trying to contribute to the conversation some way.
Often what Mace does.
You can also opt out of the maxim. If I decided to simply leave the room at this point, I'd be opting out of talking to you.
Do it.
guys.
Do it.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Balcony's out over there if you wanna.
Oh, what
Damn.
What the hell?
That's crazy.
This turned dark.
And
It's black screen.
following are some
Demon's back.
examples of how you can flout or violate maxims.
Beans
So
after
then
dark.
Here you're telling me that Julius Caesar, who's been dead for well over 70 years, made this salad. It's flouting quantity because, well, obviously he's been dead for way more than 70 years, and we know that. It's not being informative enough. It's not telling you enough information, and it's being misleading. Someone who didn't know who Julius Caesar was would be, wow, a recent icon made this salad. You can also see that it helps us understand sentences a bit easier. It's cool outside is not saying it's freezing outside, so it must not be freezing outside. I ate most of the pizza. If I ate all the pizza, I would probably say that. So it's fair to assume that if all of the pizza was eaten, I didn't do it.
Yes, words have meaning, guys.
You can also violate or flout quantity by being by not sharing enough information in a way that tells the person that's reading your message that maybe there's something that I'm not saying that you should pick up on. Such as in this example for a letter of reference. Could you read it, please?
Dear X, I am writing in support of Sally Smith's application for a job in your department. Miss Smith was a student of mine for 3 years, and I can tell you that she has excellent penmanship and was always on time for class.
Now imagine I'm your lawyer, and this is the letter that's convincing you to be the lawyer. Are you convinced by my great penmanship and by the fact that I'm on time? No, probably not. It's not enough information for you to surmise that I'm a skilled lawyer who would be able to defend you, right?
What
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
would probably
I
be-
said yes. That's embarrassing.
It'd probably be a poor letter of reference, yeah?
It depends, yeah, definitely on the context. Like if it was like a writer, maybe,
Yeah.
then that would make a little sense.
Yeah.
Like
Or like
lawyer,
a journalist,
yeah, definitely.
You know, like penmanship and being on time, like that's what you need for certain jobs. But
Yeah.
not a lawyer.
And we're not a lawyer.
I guess it depends on the context, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the features of flouting maxims and violating them, following them, is that it depends on the context. You have to kind of respond in kind to what the situation is. Flouting or violating the maxim equality just results in lying. Did you do your homework? Of course I did. I didn't play video games all day.
Simply lying.
You can also violate it, or you can flout it for humorous effect.
I love doing it for humor.
It takes a real genius to comment like that on an ongoing lawsuit. All the world loves a clown.
Those are
So Naomi,
Not
that's
necessary.
triggered for.
not necessarily accurate
Whoa, you
statements,
gotta
that's
fight
right?
now. Kick him.
Relation, or saying things that are related to what's happening, is actually something that we break a lot in talking normally if we don't have a direct response, or if we simply choose to omit words. Like, did you do your homework? Yes is technically not informative enough because it's just saying yes. Here we have
Yes,
three
I ate
times.
7 burgers.
3 times Della counted it. $1.87. The slide is gone. And the next day would be Christmas.
Oh wow.
There is clearly nothing to do but to flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. Now,
Wow.
if you didn't read the first sentence, you would be like, why the fuck is she howling? And howling really doesn't have to do with Christmas or the notion of having $1, right?
I howl every dollar I earn.
But in the context, you can see why those two statements are related.
Why?
Well, because like she's howling because she doesn't have enough money for Christmas. She can't buy a gift.
Oh.
So it's related in the sense that I understand that she's howling because she doesn't have enough money.
Yeah.
I couldn't even put it together.
Yeah, I definitely.
Well-
I put the words together and I'm like,
They're
okay.
violating these maxims so
Guys,
hard.
this is a story, guys. You like imagination.
I'm being violated so hard right now.
Yeah, what does it say?
Okay, the difference between flouting and violating the maxim depends on the truth of what is being said. A. Smith doesn't seem to have a girlfriend these days. B. He has been paying a lot of visits to New York lately.
So NASCAR.
So that doesn't seem necessarily related, right? Him visiting New York doesn't really have to do with him or not having a girlfriend. But if B knows that Smith has a girlfriend, then it flouts relation by looking like it's not respecting it, but being an appropriate response by implying that the girlfriend lives in New York. If he's lying and saying that, like, oh yeah, he's been going to New York like lately and it's completely unrelated, then he's violating the maxim by just saying something that sounds related but has nothing to do with it. And finally, the maxim of manner.
Your
It's
maxim's really polite.
It's usually just flouted or violated for humorous or poetic effect, or to mask what someone is trying to say. So in this example, the crow flies at midnight the pomegranates are in aisle 16.
Wait,
They're code words, you know, we're just obscuring what we're saying, and that's how we're flouting it.
Maze
We can-
score.
I was gonna say, like, that's a poem right there.
Every tree's a poem.
In this one, you have, I hear you went to the opera last night. How was the lead singer? The singer produced a series of sounds corresponding closely to the score of an aria from Rigoletto.
Okay,
And,
AI.
you know, you can assume that she probably wasn't that good.
Not the top
The
one.
neurolinguist says
She
she was
was-
entirely dressed in articles of clothing and had nothing on her feet except a pair of socks and 2 shoes.
Here you have a bit of a poetic application of it, where you're being obscure with what you're saying. Like you're taking a route to say what you're
Taking the
wanna say.
scenic route.
And that's just how you can use the cooperative principle.
What makes it cooperative?
Cooperative because you're working together to try to forward the conversation.
I love
And-
that.
and
It's just
break-
like purely dialogue focused.
Yeah, and breaking those rules is also a form of cooperation because we're trying to, even when we're breaking the rules, you kind of have to assume that I'm still trying to forward the conversation, not literally just.
So this is just
Right.
linguistic improv.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
pragmatics.
It's just called pragmatic.
Oh, Martina's
Yes,
gonna
well,
love
I mean,
this.
It's a theory in the field of pragmatics that deals with what we're saying outside of what we're literally saying.
How would you describe your talking style then?
Excuse me.
No, with all of this in mind.
What do you mean?
Like, how do you lean towards more of like you're only speaking when necessary? Do you like to like push conversation, or do you like lying for fun?
Well, I
I
mean, I think it's fun to break relevance. There's a lot, like, I find that I break a lot of, like, relevance in manner